Hi, I'm Gary here at Martin Lynch & Sons, and today I'm going to be looking at tuners. Tony said that I should get myself out of my cubbyhole and come and talk about some the vast range of tuners that are available nowadays. And I think we can't talk about tuners without mentioning MFJ. They have the biggest range of, I think, amateur radio products ever. Their manual, although it's a little thinner than it has been in the past, is still full of amazing things, and their tuners are really, you know, out there on their own. There is nothing else, I think, that really comes to such versatility as the range of tuners they have. Now, I'll talk about manual tuners very briefly. These are really ideal for people that have maybe receive stations, and because you don't need to transmit to actually tune an antenna system in. You basically tune until you get the most noise. It's always best to have a really good tuned antenna. There's no getting away from that, but sometimes, you know, compromises are a must. So, you know, something like a manual tuner for a receive station is a really good, very useful tool. Now, a good example of this is I've got a little SDRplay here, which is a fantastic SDR receiver, but these don't have any form of tuning in them at all. And if you couple that up with one of these little tiny portable receive only tuners, this is a really good combination, and you can see just how well they sort of fit together. They're almost made for one another. So this is a really good combination. Now, I use something similar to this tuner at home, and I've actually got a little remote switch, so I can actually switch between VHF, UHF and HF, and then switch the tuner in and out. So that's a really fantastic little combination, and that one is the MFJ 956. So really useful. What I'll also talk about is this tuner here, which this is where we're starting to go up a little bit in sort of maybe sort of options when it comes to manual sort of tuners. For a start, you've got the little SWR and power meter there. It's actually a twin needle design, and you've got like an antenna switch selector as well, and on the back you've actually got your different antenna outputs and alike, so you can actually switch between the two. But added to that, you've also got a balanced line output and a wire output, so this is really quite a versatile box of tricks. Brilliant for maybe stations that might want to sort of tune sort of something that's a little more out there in regards to tuning. Again, we understand that it's not ideal. It's always best to have a really good tuned antenna, but sometimes it's just not possible. But you still get some pretty good results by using a tuner, and I think this is just a really versatile piece of kit. Now going down through the sort of the ranges, they do go a little bit more sophisticated and sort of a more high power and better sort of components as you start going up. Now, one thing I will say about MFJ, which gets often picked up from us, is that on the edges, sometimes where they fold the materials, there's actually some cracking in the vinyl finish. And a lot of people sort of think it's scratches. It isn't. It's they buy this as a flat material. When it's folded, the vinyl actually does split. That unfortunately is just how it is with these particular range of products. You know, overlooking that, I think we just can't complain at just the huge range and versatile range of products that MFJ produce. They are the only manufacturer out there, I think, now that are producing such a range of things, from TNCs, antennas, antenna analyzers, just through to the whole lot. Just fantastic. Really good company to deal with. Any spares that I've ever needed, Phyllis has always made sure that I've had the bits pretty quickly, and you know, they've been pretty responsive, so it's really good company. Again, on the back of this particular tuner. We've got the standard sort of wire outputs, balanced outputs, and I think some of them may even have built-in balance and things like that. Again, we've actually got antenna switching as well, capability from the front. You can switch and select the antenna that you need. So again, good value for money. You know, if you look at these again, they may need a little bit of TLC and when you get them, because, you know, maybe they're a bit sharp on the edges or something. You know, it's still great value for money. So let's look at the next one down. Now this one's slightly more sophisticated. This one's a used one. This has come off of our used pile. And this is one of their Outtro tuners. You can see that. Now this is pretty versatile for an Outtro tuner, which is why I think they're so popular. If you look around the back, you've actually got the wire outputs, which is fairly rare for an Outtro tuner. You've got antenna 1 and antenna 2 sockets, and you've also got this remote port as well. So this particular tuner is quite versatile, and still to this day remains a very, very popular choice for you know, maybe remote stations and stuff like that, where, you know, they may need to just have a little bit more flexibility with their tuners. Now, talking about remote stations, we've pretty much gone through the manual tuners. Let's start looking at maybe, I think we'll look at the CG3000. Because talking about remote stations, a lot of remote stations use sort of things like, say, really sophisticated antenna systems, but there are some out there that use, you know, a wire type system. And for those of you that have got, say, you know, maybe a bit of a compromised situation where you've got a wire, you know, up a long wire, you just want to be able to put something out in the garden and forget about it, this is ideal. This is a long wire tuner. You attach a long wire to the end to this. This just goes in a waterproof enclosure or just a sheltered location, and it's supplied with, there's a cable there somewhere, it's supplied with 12 volts and a feeder cable, and it comes with a remote kit as well should you want to work it remote. And that is a really, really good fit and forget sort of solution, completely automatic with some memories as well. So really, really good choice. Put outside, fed it, forget it, job done. Wire and fed wire. Now I think we're starting to get into the more sophisticated automatic tuners. Now, for those of you that want to go sort of a little bit portable, now I've got two little radios here, one 817, one G106. Neither have a tuner in. Sort of something like this, maybe like a MAT 10 or something coupled up with these sorts of things, will offer you portable sort of options, and with a little tiny pocket rechargeable tuner. In the case of the 817, these two link together and, you know, work in tandem, so you can actually then use the radio to start the tuning processor and process and stuff like that. So it's really, really neat little bit of kit, but completely rechargeable. Really, really nice. I love this. It's really, really nice. If you want sort of something that's a little more robust, maybe you've got sort of something else that's maybe sort of something like an 857 or maybe an 891 or something like that, and you want something with a little bit more power capability, then you've got something like this. This is a by the way, that was a MAT 10, that one, the little portable. Something like a MAT 125E. This is a rechargeable USB-C automatic tuner. It gives you, obviously on the back, you've really only got very basic sort of stuff. You've got a transmitter input and an antenna output and a grounding point, and that's it. You've also got the USB recharging port, and that one there is a little more basic, just RF sensing, and that will sort of tune pretty much anything. So you could couple it up with maybe an 817, an 897, 857, 891, something like that, and you know, away you go. Now let me put that there for a sec. Okay, so If you want sort of something to add to your, say, your 7300 or your DX10 or something like that, then why not look at something like one of these. This is the MAT 180. Now this one is designed for ICOM. This one actually offers you just a little bit more versatility. You've actually got a wire connector here. You've got ground and a wire output. And also you've got RF in and an antenna, straight antenna output. And unusually, oh, it will. You just share that. If you need to ground this as well, just share that point there. Now the nice thing with these is, because an internal tuner on most radios will typically go from somewhere around sort of 3 to 1, up to 3 to 1. If you want something slightly more versatile, then adding an external tuner is a really, really good option. It does give you some flexibility with maybe if you've got sort of something that's a little more out there in regards of antennas. So that's a really fantastic solution, but it is tied to the radio. So if you buy an ICOM one, it only works with ICOM. So unlike the generic ones like this. So there you go. Now, they do get a bit bigger. This is one of the newer models. And they've changed the design of this one. This one is a MAT tuner. This is the MAT 1500 Pro. Now I noticed that they've changed the case design just slightly. They've actually made this now like a sheet steel outside. The earlier ones had a more of a brushed aluminium outside. But what they also have done, they've changed the front panel as well very slightly. You've now got some push button selectors and some actual indicator lights on the front to let you know which mode it's in. On the back we've got the usual suspects, but we've also got some interface cable options for I think it's ICOM and Kenwood and Yaesu on the back, and then you've got like an antenna switch option as well, which you can select from the front, so you can say antenna 1, antenna 2, that sort of stuff. And of course tune. Now on the back also it's got a couple of phono connections, and that is actually PTT and a PTT through. So if you've got, say, more than one device that needs a PTT signal, you can actually share that port. Now it does come with a handful of cables, as do a lot of these tuners. So I think in a nutshell that's pretty much it. I mean, there are things like the Powerstar tuners, range of tuners, which are a whole lot of a different kettle of fish when it comes to sort of power and stuff like that. Fantastic manual tuners, a lot of them, and auto tuners as well, I should add. But yeah, just a fantastic range of tuners really all round. So if you need anything, then please do give us a call at the store on 0345 23 00599. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you very soon.